Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, that's so sweet. I can hardly hear any one of you, I really request, this means a lot to me, and I'm going to share with you what's very, very personal, and I think it could really make a big difference to each one of you. And I'd want you guys to listen, and just those guys say aye. You guys are here. Say aye. Whoa, that's better. Thank you very, very much. So, we all have dreams. We all have dreams or desires, wants, what do you want to do. A lot of us may not know exactly what you want to do, but we have a good idea of what we want. Like for myself, I didn't know a lot about what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to make it big. Not what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do it, okay? And thank God for these dreams, I'm going to share with you 5 instances from my life, okay? At different stages in my life, I'm going to share with you 5 instances that totally changed my life, each one of them, okay? The first one was in school. Now, I wasn't the very studious kinds, and I was more imaginative and more creative, and I would think and, that sorts. So studies didn't interest me too much, and, I had a barrier there. My first barrier was sitting in the class. Now, what did I do? I had a clear barrier. I knew this is a problem that I didn't want to face too much. And so what did I do? I found a solution. And that was to enroll in every single extracurricular activity that I could find. I'm not saying you shouldn't study. Well, this is how I was. I'm just sharing that with you, So I enrolled in every single extracurricular. It could be from games like judo, karate, from these sports to swimming. I even participated in zonals. Out of 6 people, I would come 6, but I would still go so that I could avoid sitting in class. So that was me. That was in school. That was a barrier. And these extracurriculars really contributed a whole lot to my being who I am today, and which I realize now, looking back. Then I didn't know so much. I was just doing it so that I would feel happy, and I would feel happy outside the class. So neither did I bunk any class, but I didn't attend a lot either, okay? The second one was when I entered college. In college, my parents used to send me 1100 rupees a month as pocket money, and that doesn't suffice, okay? I knew I had a barrier, and this barrier had to be broken. I was clear that this has to go, so we used to go for ODCs, okay? ODCs were outdoor caterings. I was in hotel management, and each ODC would give you $150. So if I would go 3 days a week, that would give me about 450 or something, and which wasn't again working. So what did I do? I invested in myself, took opportunities that came my way of being a bartender at these events, at these parties. I would make $1,000. So for the same 3 days, I was making minimum 3,000, and as a bartender, you get tipped much more, okay? So this was another barrier that came my way, and I saw how I could harness opportunities, harness these barriers and come over this. And there were many, many more along this journey. I'm just sharing one each in each phase. So that was college for me. Next was when I started working. When in one of my jobs, I was working for a nice and one of the best international MNCs based out of India, and I was having a fantastic career. Worked there really well. Everything was good. But then at one point in time, I wasn't getting what I was promised that I will get, what I should get, and I knew I should get that. And I wasn't getting it. Now I had 2 options. Either I could sit and whine and complain or whatever, but I knew that this was a barrier. I was clear about it, and I know this is not how it's going to be. I'm going to change it. So what I did, I asked that this is what I deserve. This is what I want. This is what I want. And I went there, I asked them. They said that it'll take some time. They took some time. I reminded them, didn't work out. The third time, found another job. So these are the barriers, which when I now look back, every single one of them was the reason that became the reason of why I'm here today in front of you. If I was there, just talk, and I would be like blaming the system sucks, these guys, the world's against me or whatever. But I didn't focus on that. I focused on what I wanted. I wasn't doing anything because of whatever anybody else wanted, and I'm so thankful to have such a set of parents who allowed me the liberty, the freedom to really decide what I wanted to do. So what happens is, whenever I want to do something, I would do it 100%. I would give my all because I wanted it, not because my parents wanted it, You see where the difference is coming? So whatever I would do, a lot of them were successes, a lot of them were failures. I took both in my stride. I would suffer my punishment, come back and try again. Anyway, so this was another one at my work, the third one. The fourth was, and when this fourth was in life, in life, I was doing really well. I grew really well. I worked for a private limited company, a public limited company, an MNC. Now I was doing really well. A 7-figure salary, was getting comfortable, and I couldn't see a lot ahead. How am I going to grow from here? What's the next step? I couldn't see it. I was stagnating, kind of stagnating. And I said, what do? I clearly had a barrier. What did I do? Quit that job and got into business. Started a new company, started a new venture with Ankit Chamoli. So I'm just sharing with you, I had a barrier, or I couldn't grow further. I found out a way of how I could do that and did that. That's how simple it is. Of course, I had responsibilities and there were ups and downs, but today when I look back, all of this worked for the better, okay? And the last one that I want to share with you, fifth, is in the field of business, okay? When I started this business, I had a sales friend of mine who was in sales, and this guy would go to corporates around and get business for his company. And I said, dude, if you could help me a little, just get a start of sorts. And this guy was like, yeah, okay, dude, I will help you, but what's the cut that you're willing to give? You guys know what a cut is, right? Hello, yes or no? Oh, fantastic, thank you. Sweet of you guys. So I said, we don't do cuts, we do genuine work. I'm going to do genuine work, and we're going to be the best that this guy's ever seen. This is the kind of work that we do, and we don't do cuts. We're not in that business. And this guy said, dude, then you can't survive in the market here. You have to find another place, another job, or get back to your job or do something else, And I was like, there is another barrier. This is not happening. Like, I've taken that step. Now I want to make this good or do something or whatever. Like, I got to make this work. What did I do? Found a way. We figured out who's one guy in a business who won't take cuts or commissions in his own business. And that's the business owner, right? And that's the entrepreneur. And these are the people we started working with. Believe me, when I look back today, all of these decisions were the best decisions that I took in my life. All of them were out of my comfort zone, but all of them were decisions that I 100% wanted, 100% willing to commit myself to it, irrespective of what comes out. Because I knew no matter what happens, I'm not dying, dude. Like, this won't kill me. And whatever doesn't kill you and is out of your comfort zone, and to start with, just a little out of your comfort zone will grow you. You heard this, right, somewhere? Fantastic. So what I'm trying to share with you here is, these are 5 instances from my life where what looked like barriers, in each of these conditions, I could have just survived in those positions. When I was at school, I didn't like studies, just sit in those classes, won't like it a lot. I would just be just like that, lost in class. I wouldn't do great anyway, because I wouldn't take charge of myself. I'm going to share with you your biggest asset today. Anybody know what's your biggest asset in life? Come back again. Anybody? I can't hear you. Shout it out loud. What is your biggest asset in life? Mind. Your mind. Fantastic. Thank you very much. A round of applause for this gentleman, whoever this is. Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you very, very much. So your mind. This is one of the most sophisticated, most advanced thing that there exists on this planet till date. There's nothing ever built which is surpasses, and each one of us has it, and each one of us has just the same potential as anybody else. It's just how much you realize. So potential is everybody's potential in the mind is the same. Then there is how much of the potential that you have can you see right now. That's another level. I can see I can go till this level, and how much of that potential you've realized is another level. So what I'm going to do with you is, if you're interested, I will share a model of the mind with you, which can really help you figure out the most common barriers that people face and you will face too, and I will tell you how you can break them. Are you guys interested? Yes or no? Yes. Oh, I'm hearing you guys now. Give me that once more. Yes or no? Yes. Whoa, thank you very much. Could I have a pen? Thank you. Fantastic. So I'll tell you how this goes, okay? Here, everybody can see this, okay? So this is how your spinal cord, this is not going to get very technical, it's very simple, okay? This is your spinal cord right in the back. This is the spinal cord. On top of it is the first brain that ever evolved, okay? And this was in reptiles. Anybody knows? This is the brain stem, okay? We call it the brain stem. This is also known as the reptilian brain. The function of this was very simple. Keep these guys alive, okay? Survival, okay? Survival. Thereafter, another brain evolved over this in mammals. So mammals had this one and another one on top of it. Don't go by the shape size. And this is a model, this is not a scientific model. I'm just telling you for your understanding, okay? This is not a complete model. Anyway, so brainstem is the first one, the focus, and what it does is survival. Reptiles don't feel bad, okay? They don't have emotions, they just want to survive. They will, you know, eat food, their basic functions, find hot mates, make babies, and that's about it, you know. Next is your limbic brain, okay? What does your limbic brain do? It is your emotions. Emotions evolved in mammals. It's also known as the mammalian brain. So reptiles, your snakes, geckos, lizards, and whatever. Then is the emotional brain. This is in mammals. They also have emotions. That's why you know how you can train your doggy or whoever, you know. You give him biscuit, he comes to you because, you know, he gets motivated. He feels happy. It promotes his survival. So this is what was in mammals. Then came another brain which was evolved on top of this. So the brain is evolving, okay. And this is the brainstem, the limbic brain, and people call it the neocortex, the new brain or new cortex, okay. The neocortex, this is what evolved in humans, and this is also known as the thinking brain. I'm going to share with you how people who are achievers and who go out and achieve things, how they're different. They're not the most studious, they're not the most hardworking, but what do they do? Okay, so what do? We call them, there are people live at 3 levels, okay. One is people who are living at the survival level. How are you living today, you know? Are you just surviving through, or are you, and I'm not about the brain now, I'm talking about these 3 stages, the survival stage, okay. Are you in the survival stage where you're just doing enough to just get through life? If you're in that phase, your actions, your effort is going to be just enough that is required to survive, and your actions are going to be just enough. Actions and effort is going to be just enough to survive. Your results are also going to be just okay and average and sometimes worse, and your parents and whoever, like, life's going to get to you. You're not going to be a winner. You're not going to dominate any industry, any area, nothing. So how do you feel? You feel bad. So when you come to the emotions level, how would you feel? You'll feel bad. And what will you think? So imagine if you failed in life, you start thinking, and that's not positive, you know. That it's a loop, you know. So what happens is when you've not decided, if you're just in the survival zone, you're working just enough. When you work just enough, your results are just enough, which is never too good. You feel sad, you think the world's against you, you feel really sad. When you feel sad, and then when you work, your work output is always going to be lower, lesser, and your results are going to be far lesser. As it is, results are not completely in your hand. They're quite in your hand, but not completely. So this is how the average people live, okay? People in these phases. So the other level is motivated by emotion. This is one level of people who are motivated by survival. They just want to get through in life. The second level is motivated by emotions. Emotions as in, I will do things if I feel happy in that. And that was the phase that I was in for the longest period of time. I was motivated by feeling happy. You know, I want to do things that made me feel happy. So in school, I want to do what made me feel happy, and studies were clearly not that. That was a barrier. I got out and did every extracurricular, co-curricular which would make me feel happy. At my job, I want to do whatever else, but not stay there and not get what I wanted. It would make me happy if I moved on. So I moved on, you know. So I did whatever would make me happy. This is the second phase where people live. What do? When they face failure, they can. So if you're moving by the happiness, if you face failure, you got to switch. If you don't switch, then what happens? You feel sad, and then you get back in the same loop that I told you last time. The third is the human, okay. The human brain is the thinking brain, responsible for all your complex functions like analytical brain, logical brain, rational brain. All of that happens, analytical thinking, rational, language, all of that happens here at the top level, okay. People who operate from that, they think very differently. They just don't think of their own survival. They think of helping themselves first and others, and they find their happiness in the pursuit of their goals. They make a decision. They make a decision at all the 3 levels. People who are most successful, they make 3 decisions at all these levels. The first one is at survival. They take charge. They take charge of themselves. They don't want to survive. They want to thrive. They decide that I will be successful. Come what may, whatever the market's going to go up or down, I will survive. I will not survive, I will thrive. So this guy thinks very differently. He says, I take charge of myself. I will not give reasons, excuses, or whatever. I will make success happen. So this guy is focused on one thing, which is making success happen. Second is emotions. You know, when you pursue something that you really want, what happens? You get happiness just in the act of doing so. You know, if you have a goal that you want, if you want to achieve something that you want, just the pursuit of that will make you feel happy. and you'd want to do that more. So this is the decision that they take. At the second level, they will not let emotions use them. They will use their emotions to further power themselves. And at the third level, they will use their minds, they will use their thinking capacity to find solutions rather than letting their minds use them. Letting their minds use them. You know the monkey mind, if you're not successful, you think and you feel, and this is, the loop's gonna go down. If you do something not successful, no problem, you were so focused, you get back to the same and do really, really well. This is how leaders think. But the real domino effect comes where I'm going to share that with you. The domino effect comes when you don't do it just for yourself. Now this was in animals, reptiles, okay, the survival instinct, just take care of yourself. We are social beings. Now we don't have to go hunt for our food and get it. How do we get food? We get food by business, by trade, by giving something and getting something. You go to the market, you give them something of value to them, they value the money more than the packet of noodles that they have that we want, you know. So we exchange value. I give something that he values, he gives me something that I value. So these guys realize, they think that they've got to be able to give value to the world to be able to get value from the world. The more value you give, the more value you get. So it's a very simple equation, give and get. Now these guys don't focus on the get, they focus on the give, not the get, on the give. Let me give you some examples. Look at Amazon, look at Flipkart, look at any of these most successful companies, look at Patanjali, you know, what do these guys do? These guys are serving us in some way or the other. A lot of us use Patanjali products, a lot of us use Amazon products. They make my life simpler, so I'm going to give them my money because they give me something that I want, they give me convenience and things like that. So whoever gives you more money or whoever gives you more value will grow. So this is how the best people think, and this is what I realized in my own life. I had leaders like these inspiring me in my own life when I was coming through along my journey. I knew one thing from the beginning, that I want to make it big and I'm going to go all out to make it big. Whatever role I got, I ensured that I served better than anybody else. If my boss gave some work to me, I would do as much as possible, far beyond what anybody else would. I would go the extra mile. And then what happened, I would serve people when I was in positions of leadership. I was, the highest I went was general manager in a company in my working career. I would serve people as much as I could, and you know what I realized, even in my consulting assignments when we started People List India, we serve people, help their businesses grow, and people that we serve are the people who gave us more business, and that is how we grow and created a domino effect. You know, I coach these business owners now who impact their people, get profitability, X, 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x results, and then this adds back to me. So the more people you give to, the more you get, and that I believe creates a domino effect that someday can really make a difference to humanity. Thank you very much, everyone.